Pessoal, boa tarde a todos, é um prazer tê-los aqui. Obrigado por terem aceito o nosso convite. É um grande prazer que hoje trazemos aqui o David Murphy. David é um conhecido nosso de muitos anos, desde que ele era gerente de marketing da Riso, bem antes de vir para a HP, depois ele passou mais 10 anos na HP. Ele recentemente abriu uma empresa de marketing digital nos Estados Unidos, e com quem a gente vem se relacionando, e convidamos o David então para fazer uma apresentação para a gente exatamente sobre o que é a empresa dele e o que ele faz em termos de marketing digital, já que ele é muito focado. A pessoa tem mais gente. Minutinho todos aqui de São Paulo. Ele é muito focado na indústria gráfica, um grande conhecedor da indústria gráfica, e então é um prazer tê-lo aqui conosco. David, I'm introducing you very quickly, but if you could introduce yourself, I'd appreciate that.
Well, bom tarde, everyone. It's very nice to meet you. I'm David Murphy, and it's really an honor to be with you this afternoon. I look forward to sharing some good ideas and strategies to help you grow your businesses.
Bom, prazer estar conosco aqui, um prazer estar, se possível, poder colaborar para o crescimento do negócio de todos. E então eu já vou direto, acho que já estamos com bastante gente aqui, eu vou direto. A apresentação é o seguinte: nós temos uma apresentação pré-gravada do David com uma tradução em português, né, com as legendas em português. Então eu vou pôr toda essa apresentação e ao final fazemos uma sessão de perguntas e respostas. Quem, por favor, tiver suas perguntas, coloque aqui no bate-papo para que a gente possa ir vendo, marcando, e no final conversarmos com o David, ok? Então eu vou compartilhar minha tela para fazer a apresentação. Tá vendo aí, Paulo?
Tudo certo, transmitindo normalmente.
Vamos lá, vamos ver se tá para português. Vamos lá, pessoal, começando.
Olá e bem-vindo.
Pessoal, só um minutinho. Sugiro para quem possa colocar na sua tela total, para poder ver com mais clareza as legendas.
Olá e bem-vindo. Meu nome é David Murphy, já que meu português é desastre, agora vou mudar para inglês. Where do people go when they look for a printing company? Well, generally about 68% of people start with Google. So today we are going to talk a lot about Google, how people enter a search query, and what happens when they do so. So the first outcome of a search is that people want to know something. They want to learn something, but they aren't ready to buy. Secondly, they might want to go someplace. They want to find and visit a local business that offers something they want. Third, they might want to do something. They have a problem or a need, and they want support in solving that need. And finally, they want to buy something. They're ready to purchase, and they need help in making a final decision. So today, more than ever, digital marketing can be a critical sales and lead generation for printing companies. And we'll clarify in this presentation some marketing jargon like paid search, pay-per-click advertising, and search engine optimization. We'll also talk about how your printing business gets found online, how you get clicks, and how you get conversions, especially in a competitive market where you might have 10 to 15 other competitors on the same search engine results page as you. So we'll do a deep dive on SEO or search engine optimization, and we'll discuss how your printing business can start to move up in the Google search results. So today, in the summer of 2020, as we approach the fall, we really need to market differently than we did just 6 months ago. So a little bit about me. Again, I'm David Murphy, and I've been in some form of print marketing for my entire career. And up to this year, I had held leadership roles in HP's graphics division, most recently in the page-wide industrial inkjet division, previously supporting Indigo, Latex, Cytex, DesignJet, and other HP products. And in my tenure, I've helped packaging converters, book manufacturers, letter shops, large format printers, and commercial printers in Latin America and around the world. And this year I started this company called Nvent Marketing to help printing businesses like yours get leads and grow profitably as we move in the next era. So my company, Nvent Marketing, helps printers bridge the strategies of inbound and outbound marketing. Outbound marketing is something that printers typically have historically done well. We do email and printed mail very well. We can use variable data to target and personalize our messages to very defined and specific audiences, and we can promote our value to a very specific audience in a timely manner. But inbound marketing is about attraction, and that's about finding potential buyers that we don't necessarily know about today. And we are going to find these buyers by giving them content that helps them learn and conduct their own research. And when their time comes, they will come to you or a competitor to get solutions to their problems. So it's really a blend of both strategies. And the outcome that we want for the print buyer is to improve the recall or their memory of your brand. We want them to respond to your outreach through outbound direct marketing. We want to convert those leads into customers, and then we want to retain those customers as loyal fans for years to come. So let's look at printing and packaging in general. So businesses need print, and print needs business. The sectors of printing and packaging have been classified as critical industries in the United States, Canada, Australia, and many other countries around the world. And print is obviously an essential component of the supply chain of the world's economy and our society. And the governmental guidelines that allow printing and packaging companies to remain open during the pandemic is the good news. The bad news, of course, is that many other businesses are still shut down, many people are working from home, and printing businesses are suffering. Let's take a look for a moment at how printing companies find customers. There's a blend of outbound and inbound strategies, and this utilizes tactics that include everything from sales and marketing, networking, advertising, and the internet. And many printing companies have a sales force that makes calls on prospective customers. And using traditional means of face-to-face selling, trade shows, association events, conference presentations, and so forth, has always been a part of the sales motion. But COVID, of course, has put a giant barrier to that strategy and has prevented us from reaching prospective customers on a face-to-face basis. And so this creates an opportunity for us to reach them through the internet. And using your website, using pay-per-click advertising, using search engine optimization, social and content marketing to educate and inform and inspire your potential customers to respond to your outbound marketing and to contact you through the website that you've developed. And this has been shown to increase the response rate of outbound direct marketing because buyers are more sophisticated than ever, and about half of all buyers tend to view about 3 pieces of content before they engage with a sales rep. So by giving them content that is useful, relevant, valuable, and educational, it helps them respond more intelligently to your direct mail and direct marketing outreach, but it also brings in new inbound leads to your website from those who are conducting their research on their own. So let's take a look for a moment at how the world has changed in the last 6 months with COVID-19, both in Brazil and around the world. So since the US shut down on March 16th, advertising volume overall across about 70,000 websites worldwide is down about 15%. It has recovered somewhat in the last month or so, but still below the pre-pandemic, pre-shutdown benchmark. This creates a lot of pressure on your business because obviously advertising is a major driver of print. And in parallel, we've seen fewer deals closed and created in this last 5-month period. We have seen a recent upswing in the last month or so, which is encouraging, but still we have a long way to go for full recovery. When we zero in on the regional views, we can see how Latin America has improved in the last month, but still a long way to go to return to the pre-shutdown benchmark. So what's happening is sales prospecting calls are down. Fewer prospects are in their offices, they are working from home, or they may be shut down on their own. And so the volume of sales calls is clearly down across all categories, some categories worse than others. Looking at the regional view, we can see some improvement recently in Latin America, but once again, a long way to go. So what is happening when we are not enabling our sales force to make calls on prospects in their offices? The sales reps are home making email outreach campaigns to attract current and future customers to convert to action. So the volume of sales emails has increased substantially in the last 6 months, but you can see this red line below shows that the response rate to those emails has been well below the benchmark. So this is a problem to attract new leads, new opportunities, and new customers. Again, from a Latin America view, recent improvements, but once again, the story remains the same. Let's take a look then at what's happening with internet traffic. So if people are home, they are not commuting, they're in fewer face-to-face meetings, they have more time to conduct research on the internet and consume content in new ways. And as you can see here, since March 16th, overall website traffic volume has increased in the range of 15 to 20% across all categories. And this creates an opportunity for us to reach these prospective buyers through the internet as they are online searching and browsing for information. Looking once again at a regional view, the Latin America market lags the rest of the region in terms of website traffic, but still above the benchmark. So where are people going when they are on the internet? Perhaps it's no surprise that Google and YouTube owned by Google, as well as Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram lead the traffic of worldwide web activity. And when you look at number 19, Google Brazil, still in the top 20 with about 7.7 pages per visit, so a growing and important part of internet traffic. So this is where people are looking, and these are content creation websites, they are social media sites, they are search sites, and they are locations and destinations where people are consuming content and searching for information. Now let's look at what happens when commercial activity starts online. And it may be a surprise to you that when a visitor comes to your website or any other website, about 68% of the time that visit originated with a search engine query. And in this case, you can see a query in Brazil and the results that were presented by Google. And there are probably another 15 or so results that show on the page below this, but those top 3 are the ones that are going to get the most clicks. And this is the essence of search engine optimization, is getting to the top of the page for a particular search query, or as high as you possibly can. And getting to the top is critical because, as you may know, it's rather obvious that many of us just do not go to the second page of a query. We stop typically on the first page, and as you can see, about 60% of us click on the top 3 results of an organic search engine result page. So these pages have relevance, they have authority, and they have trust with Google, because Google wants to present and serve results to your query that match and meet your expectations, so your experience will be a positive one. So it's in Google's best interest to give you relevant searches, and so with that, Google looks for signals on these websites that show that the content matches your query. So let's take a look at the space of digital marketing. It can be defined in many ways. Here we'll define it into 2 hemispheres, one being pay-per-click advertising and the other being the search engine optimization. Let's first start with search engine marketing, otherwise known as paid search. And this is a strategy that uses an auction-based system of supply and demand to allow Google to sell you advertising space when someone searches for a particular keyword or key phrase. And you only pay for the ad when someone clicks on it. And you're able to adjust your budget according to the scope and the timing and the priority of your campaign. And it's a very useful strategy to capture people who are actively looking for a solution. It could be your product or it could be your competitor's product. And this is an example here where you can see various keyword searches such as printing company, printing Sao Paulo, etc., and the average search volume and the cost per click. That says USD, but it's actually in Brazilian real. And you can see how this would vary based on the popularity and the demand of each keyword and what your price would be per click. So you can see here advantages and disadvantages of any strategy. The primary advantages I want to highlight is that you can set a budget. It can produce very fast results. It's very easily testable and adjustable. You can measure the results quickly and then define your search engine optimization strategy based on the conversion results that you get from this campaign. The downside, of course, is that paid search can be expensive, and as soon as you stop paying, the leads stop. And your competitors can also see what words you are advertising for. So the other side of pay-per-click advertising, aside from search engine marketing, is digital display advertising. And this uses platforms such as the Google Display Network, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, Pinterest, and others. So let's take a little closer look at the Google Display Network. This is a network of websites that really comprises a very, very large portion of the internet. As you can see, about 90% of internet users visit sites that are part of the Google Display Network. They are not necessarily Google-owned properties. In fact, most of them are not, but they are affiliated with Google as a participant in this display network, and they will receive orders for display ads from advertisers who want to target their visitors. You can see in the lower left some of the attributes that are searchable for this strategy, but this is a very effective way of reaching a broad market or a very defined market to build brand awareness and to generate demand for your products and services by the targeted audience that you select. If you are in a B2B market, as many print companies are, LinkedIn is a very attractive platform. They have many platforms inside of LinkedIn that have multiple layers that allow you to target your prospects based on specific industries and companies, company size, individuals who are part of the decision-making process. Maybe they're in marketing, finance, CEO, procurement. You can define them by their interest and other attributes that are attractive to them as a targeted audience for you. And then if you have a B2C or consumer-based go-to-market action, whether it's for you or for your customers, Facebook and Instagram are highly attractive platforms. They are very, very definable, and you can zero down into psychographic and demographic attributes of an individual based on their interests, their internet behavior, and other attractive attributes that help you define your strategy. Looking at all three of those comparisons side by side, you can see how they compare and contrast, and very likely you can use some combination of these. Very often in the printing industry, we focus our search on Google Display Network as well as LinkedIn, but if there is a consumer-based go-to-market strategy for you, then Facebook and Instagram might be considerable. When we look at the display advertising strategy, advantages and disadvantages, what you see here in white are what I had previously described. In yellow, you can see additional advantages and disadvantages as compared to paid search. So display advertising is generally less expensive than paid search, and there are opportunities for retargeting. So if someone visits your website and does not buy or convert to an action that you define, you can use Google, LinkedIn, Facebook, and other platforms to serve them display ads after they have left to serve as a reminder for them to return. So now let's go over to search engine optimization. So search engine optimization is a strategy that is enduring, it's cost efficient, and it can be extremely differentiating for you against your competitors. The goals are to rank higher than your competitors, as high as possible on the search engine result page, and use that high ranking to build traffic to your website, convert those visitors to customers. Now, the two elements that Google and Bing and Yahoo use to determine how high you rank are relevance and authority. Relevance being how well your content matches what people are searching for, and authority being how trusted your site is based on the number of links from other websites back to yours. Let's take a look a little bit deeper at the SEO strategies. The first building block of this strategy is to have a technically optimized website that is optimized for mobile search, that is fast loading, that is secure, and that is easy to navigate. All of these attributes send signals to Google crawlers that your site is an attractive destination for a positive user experience. The second component is building a keyword strategy. This is where you really zero in on what your value proposition is for what your audience is looking for. You compare your value proposition against your competitors, see how they rank, and see how you can outposition them. And you want to optimize your website for these keywords in as much of your content as possible. After you define that keyword strategy, you then want to produce new content that is high quality, that is shareable and linkable. And a big part of the strategy is to reach out to and secure backlinks from other websites back to yours. The keyword strategy really targets search volume, or the number of people who are searching for any particular key phrase. It shows the intent of those keywords and the supply and demand. So these are examples here of various content pieces that are on the internet, and you can see how much activity these content pieces have received in the form of social media shares and backlinks. And the strategy here is to develop content that people like, that they want to link to, that serves as a trusted signal to Google that your site has useful and shareable content. So I want to show one quick example of a print service provider in North America that is doing very well. You can see that they have more than 2,000 other websites that refer back to them in the form of inbound links. And in the upper right, you can see the keywords that they have positioned their content around. In the lower left, you can see how they have purchased paid search keywords for various volume levels, and you can see the cost per click in US dollars for those words. So this particular company performing very well on the internet when you search for these keywords. So sometimes we are not selling on a national basis, but we're selling on a local basis. So let's take a look at how you attract visitors in your local district or city. So about half of all internet searches have local intent involved, meaning that they aren't just searching for printers across Brazil, but they're searching for a particular print provider that offers a solution in their immediate geographic vicinity. This view here shows the results of a particular search query, and you can see that about 12% of the results, 12% of the clicks are made by people who click on the paid search or the sponsored ad strategy, and the other 88% are in these other components of organic search. 2% on the map, 32% on Google's 3-pack, which is the top 3 organic results for that particular local search, and another 51% across the traditional Google search engine results page. So Google My Business is a very important strategy for local SEO. It is in many ways like a social media platform where you can and should post detailed content about your site, about your business, posting photos and videos, descriptions of your offers and promotions, and then being very consistent with your name, address, and phone number detail, and getting conversations with other prospects and customers who are visiting your site. There are many tools inside of Google My Business that allow you to engage with customers and visitors directly. On the right-hand side here, you can see other local search directories beyond Google My Business, and it's very strongly encouraged that you research those sites and apply that same strategy wherever possible and make it consistent across those other directories. So let's do a quick review of what we've discussed so far. We've discussed that internet volume is up since March. Overall, about 68% of new website visits start with a search engine, so it's important to be present for those keyword queries. Clearly, most people never go to the second page of Google results, so you want to have a listing that is as close to the top as possible. About half of Google searches have local intent, so you want to optimize your content for local search. And about half of buyers view 3 pieces of content before engaging with a sales rep, so it's important to have a good content strategy. So, it's important to consider your options here, and you can use the paid search and display advertising using Google, Facebook, LinkedIn, etc. It has immediate response potential, but it can be expensive. So the alternative and the complement is to learn SEO, search engine optimization. Perhaps you could do it internally. If you don't have the time or the interest to do it, you can partner with a digital marketing expert or agency to help you with that. So again, I'm David Murphy. This is my contact information if you'd like to reach out to me for support or answer any questions that you might have. I wish you good luck and good fortune.
Obrigado, David, pela apresentação. Temos aqui algumas perguntas e quem quiser fazer mais perguntas ou colocar no bate-papo, né? Deixa eu te fazer uma no seguinte sentido. Qual o melhor retorno para uma gráfica que não tem um grande orçamento de marketing? What's the best ROI for printers who do not have a big marketing budget?
So over the long term, the best ROI, Hamilton, is also the most cost-efficient digital method for acquiring customers, and that is SEO, search engine optimization. It is
just a minute, I'm translating. Okay.
All right.
Na verdade, por um longo prazo, o melhor retorno, com o melhor método digital, com o melhor custo-benefício para conseguir clientes é o SEO, é a ferramenta de busca do Google e afins.
And SEO is cheaper than paid search and display advertising.
O SEO é mais barato do que a procura paga e a colocação de propaganda.
And it also reaches more people than social media or blogging.
Ele também alcança mais pessoas do que a mídia social ou blogs.
And importantly, SEO reaches people who have buying intent or those who are actively searching for printing products.
Ainda mais importante, o SEO alcança pessoas que têm a intenção de comprar, ou seja, aqueles que estão procurando por produtos como o que você está oferecendo.
And as I said in the presentation, SEO is more durable than other methods, and if you stick with it, it can be very difficult for your competitors to outperform you.
Além disso, o SEO é mais durável do que outros métodos, e se você está bem envolvido com ele, pode ser bem difícil para os seus competidores te ultrapassar. Another question here from Adair. David, he says, o meu website deve ser, I'll translate to you in a minute. O website deve ser criado para uma otimização da experiência do cliente para que plataforma? Mobile, desktop ou outra? My website must be created for optimizing the experience of my customer. For what platform? And mobile, desktop, in the first place, in what platform? Mobile, desktop, or other?
Mobile. So if you optimize for mobile, then everything else will follow. So about 50% of all web activity is now conducted with a mobile phone. I'll pause there.
Então, se você vai criar, em primeiro lugar, para que plataforma? Para o celular, para o mobile, né? O mobile hoje é mais de 50% de todo o sentido de busca que está sendo feito na internet.
And about 1/3 of all websites today are built on WordPress, and then maybe the majority on HTML, but I'll pause there.
Mais ou menos 1/3 dos sites hoje são criados em WordPress e outros em HTML.
And it's very, it's easy to make your website responsive. And responsive is a term that says that whatever you are showing on a large screen will also shrink to fit a tablet and shrink further to fit a mobile display.
E, na verdade, hoje é muito fácil fazer um website que se chama responsivo. Responsivo é que ele funciona nas diferentes plataformas, diferentes telas, né? Seja desktop, seja mobile, seja tablet.
And people who use mobile phones are very impatient. They want the images to load very fast. They want to be able to click on a link and have it respond, and they want to have all the text readable. And if your website is not responsive, then they will give up very quickly and leave your site.
E o pessoal hoje é muito impaciente. Ele quer acessar a imagem muito rapidamente, ele quer ter uma resposta rápida de links, né?
So in
Ele
summary,
quer ler rapidamente um texto, né? E at the end, what is that?
sorry. In summary, tell your web developer to make your website mobile first.
Então, fala para o seu desenhador de site, para quem cria o seu site, para fazer ele primeiro mobile, para depois ir para as outras plataformas. Outra pergunta, David. Quanto tempo leva para se estar ranqueado no topo da procura do Google? Ou seja, how long does it take to get ranked at the top of Google search?
So the process of getting naturally ranked on the first page generally takes about 4 to 6 months, especially if you have no ranking at all. But it depends on how tough your competition is and what keywords you want to rank for.
Você, se conseguir esse ranqueamento, que chama de orgânico, né, na primeira página do Google, pode levar de 4 a 6 meses. Agora depende da competição que você tem, da persistência e quais palavras-chave você quer ranquear.
Let's say you want to be ranked #1 for keywords São Paulo printing. Well, that's very difficult because it's a very popular keyword and very competitive. I will pause.
Se você quiser, por exemplo, ser ranqueado por palavras como impressão em São Paulo ou gráfica em São Paulo, isso pode ser difícil por serem palavras bastante usadas.
So if another very strong printer dominates the market, you will have to work harder to produce better digital content, and this will take some time.
Se uma outra gráfica dominar o mercado, você vai ter que trabalhar ainda mais duro para produzir um conteúdo digital, um melhor conteúdo digital, e isso leva tempo.
And a smarter strategy would be to compete with what's called long tail keywords that have more detail. For example, fastest, eco-friendly, indoor banner printing, very specific and easier to win for something like that.
Uma estratégia mais inteligente pode ser a de competir com palavras dentro do que se chama da cauda longa, né, para se ter mais detalhes. Por exemplo, impressão mais rápida, banners para uso interno, banners ecologicamente corretos ou eco-friendly, coisas desse tipo. Let me give you another question. Just a minute.
Okay.
Creio que existem estratégias, essa do Zé Alexandre, creio que existem estratégias bem diferentes para os distintos públicos no Brasil. Clientes de pequeno porte, consumidores finais buscam gráficas por Google e redes sociais, mas a fatia dos grandes clientes, onde é uma tendência de uma parte possuir plataformas de compras de terceiros, não busca as empresas gráficas por SEO. Dessa forma, quais estratégias de inbound marketing podem ajudar as empresas gráficas, principalmente o segmento promocional? I think there are many different strategies for different audiences in Brazil. SMB business, they look for printers by Google and social media. But the big business or big customers, big clients, where there is a trend to have a platform for buying from thirds, then look for printers by SEO. In this way, which strategies of inbound marketing could help the printing companies, mainly the promotional segment? Quem fez essa pergunta?
Eu, Luiz Felipe. Né?
Luiz Felipe. Tinha que ser
desculpa o texto longo aí, mas a minha dúvida, né, e o que a gente tenta implementar é que realmente os pequenos, quando você fala do B2C, esses vão buscar a gráfica, a melhor impressão, a melhor rapidez, mas as grandes empresas, né, eu creio que o relacionamento é o grande foco aí, principalmente no B2B. Então é mais assim, na experiência dele, como que ele tem trabalhado isso no global, né?
So especially for big customers, as Luis is saying, that small companies they can look for printers by social media and SEO, but big players, they have their buying platforms and things like that. So how to reach them? How's the best alternatives to reach them?
So there is a strategy called account-based marketing, ABM. And that is a strategy that you use to reach multiple people inside of a large company. I'll pause.
A alternativa é você trabalhar com marketing baseado em contas, onde você pode trabalhar especificamente grandes contas.
So what you could do is you could have a message that goes to the CFO and talk to that CFO about financial matters that are important to them. You could send a separate message to the CMO and talk to them about marketing and customer engagement. You could talk to operations about how the items that are important to them. And you could send another message to the print buyer or procurement. Let me pause.
Então, ele diz o seguinte: mandar mensagens específicas para cada nível da empresa. Eu vou mandar mensagens específicas para o diretor de finanças sobre assuntos financeiros, para o diretor de marketing sobre assuntos de marketing, para o diretor de operações com informações específicas. E também uma mensagem para os compradores. Ou seja, trabalhar com diferentes mensagens, diferentes CEO level, nível CEO de diretoria nessas empresas.
And you can target each of those titles and roles by company segment, by company size, whether it's turnover or employee size, geography, the tenure of the employee. So you can very narrowly define the attributes of the people you are reaching. I'll pause.
Ou seja, você pode trabalhar de maneira específica, seja por segmento, você está na empresa por segmento, seja empresa por faturamento, seja por geografia, de maneira que você possa alcançar especificamente aqueles que você está procurando.
So you using LinkedIn, you can create a paid advertising campaign that is targeted to each of those specific roles. And then on top of that, you can produce organic content through LinkedIn articles and posts that will reinforce those messages to the broader community.
Você pode, por exemplo, trabalhar no LinkedIn buscando quem está nessas funções, como você falou de finanças, de marketing, etc., com mensagem dirigida a eles. Em cima disso, você pode trabalhar com a questão orgânica, trabalhando artigos e postagens que possa atingir uma fatia maior de pessoas, uma quantidade maior de pessoas, reforçando a sua mensagem.
And finally, if you want to put in extra effort, then you can cross-reference those targeted roles inside of those targeted companies and get their addresses and then send them email and direct mail that reinforces that same message. So they get the message from LinkedIn, targeted only to them, then they get a follow-up email and a follow-up postcard.
E depois trabalhar em mensagens específicas, em clientes específicos, clientes que são objetivos, né? Também mandando mensagens específicas dentro dessas áreas, né? E-mails e malas diretas que complementam a sua mensagem total. Ok, Luiz? Vamos outra aqui.
Thank you, Hamilton. Thank you, David.
Thank you, Luis.
Agora sim, do Zé Alexandre. Qual a melhor forma de anunciar via buscadores ou mídia social? Well, the best way of advertising by searches like SEO or social media.
Was the question, is it better to advertise with paid advertisement on Google?
The best way of advertising, or by searches or by social media? What's the best way?
Okay, so the best, SEO is the best because you can reach a broad audience before they are looking. You can reach them while they are looking, and they will immediately go to your page. That's the advantage of SEO. It's also less expensive because you do not have to pay Google or Facebook or LinkedIn. I'll pause.
Então ele diz que o melhor seria o SEO mesmo, tá? Porque ele é o melhor. O que você pode atingir a pessoa antes, durante e na compra, né? E é o menos caro para ser usado. E onde você consegue a maior audiência também. Então, quem não tinha entendido a palavra.
And the thing about social media is it is difficult to get your message shared outside of your community. So you have your fans and your followers, and they see it, but they are already following you. You have to hope that they will share it with other people.
O problema na mídia social é como espalhar a sua palavra, espalhar o seu conteúdo para fora da sua audiência dentro da mídia social.
Did I answer the question or did I miss part of it? Maybe about paid?
Zé Alexandre, tudo certo aí, não?
I think so.
Ok, I hope so. Let me see. Quando o público da empresa é de empresas de pequeno porte ou empreendedores individuais, com a melhor mídia social para anunciar. When your audience is SMB or individual entrepreneurs, what's the best social media to advertise?
So the answer is it depends.
Are you a consultant?
Yeah. So you know, LinkedIn worldwide is the social media site for business, but people who work at companies also have free time, and when they also blend in, you know, their social internet activity with their business activity. So I'd say it's no longer the truth that only business people go to LinkedIn and non-business people go to Facebook. I'd say it is a combination of both. But if you really want to target, such as I described, to the role and to the market, I would lean toward LinkedIn.
Ele diz o seguinte: o LinkedIn é uma mídia social mais voltada para negócio, mas isso não significa que as pessoas que estão no LinkedIn também não interagem em outras mídias sociais, ou também não têm a sua atividade na internet, pode ser, por exemplo, o Facebook. Então, não é uma verdade que quem está no LinkedIn só está envolvido com o LinkedIn, certo? Mas ele ainda sugere que trabalhar naquela resposta que ele deu anterior em função do seu target, do seu alvo, né? Olhando a função da pessoa e olhando a questão do mercado para você atingir o melhor. Mais uma questão. Nível 1. Se você tiver uma boa... O que acontece se você consegue um bom tráfego para o seu site, mas os visitantes não estão comprando ou se convertendo em leads quando te visitam? David, what if you get good traffic to your website, but visitors are not buying or converting to leads when they get there?
Well, first, you should make sure your website is designed for easy user navigation, with a very clear call to action, such as call now, order here, click there, or something like that.
Ok. Primeiro, você tem que estar certo que o seu site foi desenhado para uma navegação mais fácil, para uma clara chamada para ação. Chame agora, compre aqui, etc.
And secondly, you can set up a program called automated remarketing. And this is software that captures the email, the visitor's email from a form on your site, and then we'll send a series of personalized emails to that visitor afterwards.
Agora, segundo, você também pode trabalhar com um programa, software, chamados de remarketing automatizado. Esses softwares capturam o e-mail do visitante a partir do formulário no seu site, então mandam uma série de e-mails personalizados para os visitantes depois que eles estiveram no site.
And these emails offer special incentives for the visitor to return to your site, and depending upon your market and application, this can be a very effective strategy to reconnect them back to your site.
Então, dependendo do seu mercado e aplicação, essa pode ser uma estratégia bem efetiva para se reconectar com esses visitantes. Okay? André, você que está na retaguarda, ficou alguma pergunta em aberto?
Não, Hamilton, tá tudo certo.
Ok. Paulo?
Diga.
Admiro o seu trabalho, viu, Paulo? Eu quis tentar fazer tudo hoje, você vê que eu me embananei aqui, prefiro muito mais, devia ter passado o comando para você, gente.
Não tem problema, você aprende. Não, a gente vai aprendendo.
Eu tinha que encarar isso,
A gente vai aprendendo.
É isso aí, obrigado pela aula. Pessoal, obrigado pela presença, eu espero que o conteúdo tenha sido o acordo que vocês estavam buscando. De qualquer forma, eu também quero reforçar os contatos do David aqui. Esses são os contatos dele. Qualquer dúvida em contatá-lo, nós temos uma parceria dele com a N Consulting, você pode entrar em contato conosco, com a Andrea Ponce, etc. E mesmo porque algumas que queiram trabalhar com ele, com a questão, né, com a barreira da língua, a gente ajuda nessa conversão. A verdade é que ele tem feito um trabalho extremamente interessante, com muitas gráficas nos Estados Unidos, está expandindo para outras regiões. E aqui no Brasil vocês também podem começar a utilizar as ofertas, os serviços que ele está fazendo. Legal? Pessoal, muito obrigado por tudo, obrigado pelo tempo, completamos exatamente 1 hora. Desculpem as interrupções, as falhas, mas como disse o Paulo, eu estou aprendendo, pelas coisas que eu trouxe ele como professor. E again, David, I would like to thank you. Fala, Paulo.
Não, eu apenas ia comentar que the live starts at 60. A live começa aos 60, Hamilton. Você está aprendendo aí.
Então, eu já comecei. David, thank you very much for your presentation. Thank you very much for your participation. We're in touch, my friend, and if you want to leave your final message, it's up to you. Okay, thank you.
Yes, so my final message is this does not have to be too difficult. You should start small and measure the results and scale. Over time, you should realize a positive ROI. So I encourage you to at least get started and begin experimenting.
Bom, David, como mensagem final, estou sugerindo que você comece, que você comece pequeno, que você vá avançando gradualmente, mas que efetivamente aproveite essa forma de poder atrair mais clientes e poder crescer o seu negócio. Ok? Thank you, David. Obrigado a todo mundo. E digo que depois o link da apresentação vai estar disponível. Aqueles que tiveram algum problema de interrupção de vídeo, etc., vão poder depois ver o vídeo. Nós passaremos por e-mail a todos o link. Todos que quiserem poderão ver o vídeo completo depois. Ok, pessoal? Thank you, David. Always a pleasure to be with you. Ok, we're in touch. Obrigado a todos, um grande abraço. Obrigado, Paulo. Obrigado, Andrea.